What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Check the Kick. Sherdog.com is a website. I'm the host, Devin, and I took like a 2-week hiatus. I did the Sherdog Fantasy show. You should go check that out. It's pretty cool. Myself, Jay Petrie, Mr. Fight Finder himself, and then Keith Schillen and Ben Duffy, and of their Keith and Schillen show. Sorry, Schillen and Duffy show. I was sick, so I apologize. Something happened where I wasn't able to record the week before last, and then last week I had like COVID or something. I was down bad, and there was just no way I could record a show. I was like, I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow, and then I like climbed up to my office. I sit down and I'd start sweating. I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. And then I tried to record like on Thursday, and then at that point I was like, it's not worth it to record on Thursday night. But I didn't feel better until like Saturday. So wasn't a fun time. I was out for about 10 days or so. We're going to run through the UFC Perth card. I scored the card live, and I don't know if I was just getting over being sick, but like this card didn't put me in a good mood. Maybe it's because the main event absolutely put me like way, way down in the fantasy MMA thing we're doing. I picked Dominick Cruz as my light heavyweight, and I'm just, we're trying to have fun here. That's why Dominick Reyes. I picked Dominick Reyes as my light heavyweight. He was an underdog going into this fight, and I was just trying to do it for fun. I wanted something to believe in. Boy, oh boy, not a lot to believe in with him. So we'll just jump straight into UFC Perth. Out with the old. I'm going to rip through the whole card pretty quickly. Carlos Ulberg knocks out Dominick Reyes in the first round of their fight. Whatever fight metric stat tells you however many strikes Dominick Reyes landed, I think it was like 5 or 7. Like, I don't even think he landed a single strike in this whole fight. He looked terrible. He looked shook up. He looked nervous. He seemed to be like in his UFC pictures, he kind of had like a little bit of extra flab. He's not the most like bricked up dude in that division, but he just seemed to be like a little more out of shape. I don't know what his deal was with this fight. Dominick was very... I don't know if this was just like too big of a moment for him. I don't know if he saw Carlos Ulberg and was like threatened by such an attractive big man, but he like was just throwing these like big slow kicks from that range. Like, I thought the southpaw orthodox matchup was gonna like help out Reyes a bit. I thought maybe he would like throw a bunch of jabs and then throw that cross to the body that he likes, but like Ulberg seemed fast, and I've never been like an Ulberg believer. And now I'm on the fence where I'm like, well, should I be an Ulberg believer? Maybe I am, because he knocked out Reyes and I picked Reyes. I picked Reyes as my fantasy MMA pick for light heavyweight, but I don't know if Reyes just looked freaking terrible or if Ulberg looked phenomenal, but he did hit him with that really nice, he's kind of trying to throw that lead check hook, but Dom Reyes like ran himself straight into the punch, and then he kind of took the angle and threw the cross. He's got really good footwork, and he's got a really crafty lead hook game. His game seems pretty empty, Ulberg. It's like, he'll have a very slow paced fight with someone, or he's trying to like line up that check left hook. But I'm still like I don't know if I'd pick him to beat Magomed Ankalaev or Alex Pereira, who we're going to talk about later on, who's going to be fighting this weekend. I don't know if I'd pick him to beat either one of those dudes. I don't know if I'm picking him to beat Jiri. Maybe Jiri will Beyblade himself over and over again into that check hook, but maybe not. And like, I don't know if I'm picking him to beat Rountree, but maybe. I don't know. I kind of need to see this dude probably fight one more time before he fights for the title. I know a lot of people are calling for him to fight for a title. Lacing Dominick Reyes the way that Dom Reyes looked, like I want to see him. If Alex Pereira beats Ankalaev, and Jiri beats Khalil Rountree. Like, I don't think they're going to be making Jiri Pereira 3. I think Carlos Ulberg, he said he's going to be going, to the show at UFC 320. He's going to be sitting in the crowd. We'll see. I'm pretty sure the winner of this featured fight on UFC 320 between Khalil Rountree and Jiri Prochazka is going to be, depending on what happens, I'm pretty sure one of those dudes is going to fight for a title next, but Pereira's already beat both of them. He's beat one of those dudes twice, so maybe he has a good shot. I'd like to see Ulberg fight the winner of that fight. And then, if Jiri if Alex is still holding the belt by the end of this weekend, he may be in a trilogy with Ankalaev, maybe not. UFC doesn't seem to love Ankalaev, but if Jiri goes out there and beats Rountree and then beats Ulberg, I'm okay with seeing him fight Pereira for a third time, basically. Ulberg is probably just going to sit out and wait for a title shot, though. Young dude, young for the division still. He doesn't have he's not young. He's not 26, but he's fairly young to MMA. Like, he's got one loss in the UFC, and then he's rattled off, a pretty incredible win streak after that. So shout out to him. For Dom Reyes, I don't know. Let him fight like Jimmy Crute, or I know he's ranked like highly in the division, but just have him fight just like anybody. I know Marcin Prachnio, I don't think he's with the organization anymore. That type of dude, or give someone an opportunity like a Modestas Bukauskas or something like that. That would be pretty cool. In the co-main event, Jimmy Crute won via the most insane thing you will see as far as the submission goes. We've got it marked down as a reverse can opener, but there's I don't know if you guys have ever seen that meme video of the kind of heavy set, I'll call him fat security guard guy, where he's supposed to be a security guard and someone's got him on all fours from behind and they've got their fingers in his mouth and they're holding his mouth. This submission was just some shit you do to your little brother. Ivan Arslan was out there just wrecking Jimmy Crute on the feet, and then got taken down, reverse position, and instead of trying to get up after he was on top, continued to try to grapple, got reversed, and then just got hit with the most light heavyweight submission fucking ever. This is way more goofy, low IQ than any of those heavyweight scarfolds or anything like that. This was just a dumb, silly submission that I was audibly chuckling while I watched it happen. Jimmy Crute is I've got no fucking faith in this dude. The way he was getting just tuned up on the feet by Ivan Arslan and looking concerned. He's at a point in his career after his mental health issues where he just seems to be concerned in a fight at all times. Unless he's winning a grappling exchange, to look on his face is just always concern. He's a decent grappler and he will go to it when he's in, when the fight's not going his way. He's at least smart enough to do that in this division. So he'll probably rattle off another win or two. But what's going to happen is he'll end up fighting someone. He'll figure out a way to fight the most stereotypical light heavyweight dude on the roster in Johnny Walker, and then just get iced, or Iwan Kutilaba and just get fucking iced. But he could wrestle some people, I don't care who he fights next. Navajo Sterling, I don't. This card was a tough watch for me. There was a lot of I don't cares on here. Ivan Arslan, he's probably going to be gone from the UFC. Nothing. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing a incredible future for this guy. Jack Jenkins won a fight against Ramon Tavares that moved up from bantamweight to 145 and still missed weight, and had the worst haircut. It looked like someone like ran over a skunk and then like just brought it and sat it on Ramon Tavares' head. I don't know. Jack Jenkins looked okay with his kicking game. I thought he let his boxing go a little bit earlier. He stung Ramon Tavares really bad with the head kick, and I thought, he could probably get it finished from there, but no. Honestly, like the most exciting fight of the night to me was probably the Jake Matthews Neil Magny. Not because the in fight itself was exciting, obviously it was, but mostly because Neil Magny literally got finished at the very end of the first round, where like the ref literally comes up, touches them, stops the action, and says, "He's out." And then they go to their corners and they're like, "He's not out." And like, this was the most Neil Magny fight ever. This was so fucking awesome by Neil Magny. I don't know how he's going to continue to do this. He's got like the most fights on the roster. He's like 2 or 3 wins away from like passing up Jim Miller for the most wins ever. He's got the most wins and the most fights in welterweight. And he's doing this thing where like, if you are not going out there and rocking Neil Magny with like some salvo of like big power boxing, or like crushing him with leg kicks up against, even like Ian Gary, like didn't go out there and just get him out of there. Obviously, Ian Gary, as much as I hate to admit, he's a good fighter. So he's still, dominated Magny. But like, if you're just like a middle of the road middleweight and you don't go out there and fuck this dude up, he is going to hang around. You're going to have all the grappling success against him in the world, the same way that Jake Matthews did, the same way Jake Matthews like had the back, had him in a mounted triangle position, trying to go for the armbar, where he should have just started punching there. 12 to 6 elbows straight on homie's nose in that position. Like you can do that now. But like, even no matter how much dominance you have against Neil Magny, especially if it's wrestling, like you can go out there and lay on him for 8.5 minutes. And then the third round starts. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's the weirdest thing. He just is like this energy vampire dude, where if you're operating at 100%, then you're operating at 90%. The second you start operating at like anything below 90% with Neil Magny in front of you, it starts becoming like he's taking 50% of your HP points, and now he's operating at 120%. Like, what's going on here? And the way that he got this finish in the submission here, like he just wore out Jake Matthews, hung tough, didn't get flummoxed. It's not like he's like the dude. He's knockoutable. He's been knocked out. He's been knocked out plenty of times for his whole career, but he's also seen and been in so many situations that like, yeah, a good fighter is going to go out there and fuck him up, but keep your like Gabriel Bonfils and the rising up Jake Matthews and the Mike Malots and even like the other OGs, like his last time out. I just like the Zaleski dos Santos, this one, the freaking Mike, like he's just going to keep doing this, I guess. Like if y'all keep letting him, fighters, if you're listening to this, if you guys keep letting Neil Magny do this shit, he's going to keep doing this. And it's going to be great for us viewers. Even though Jake Matthews is already appealing and he kind of has he's got a pretty fucking good case for an appeal, but still, like Neil Magny got his win money. Good for him. That's all he cares about. Tom Nolan and Charlie Campbell had a really cool back and forth scrap. That was really probably like fight of the night. Navajo Sterling beat Adolfo Bellato. Some people are like high on Navajo Sterling. I don't know why. Like he's just like a big dude that like, yeah, he's like throwing in combination, but he doesn't have any head movement. He doesn't have a ton of power for his size. And like I watched him throw 2 body hooks with his eyes closed this evening. Cam Ralston, City Kickboxing, like great coaches, great team. They do great with their fighters. They need to bring in like a PR person to teach their fighters, especially after Izzy, to teach them how to like do the like fan thing and how to like interact with the crowd and like how to interact with your fans on social media, how to carry yourself like a star, for lack of better terms. But like Cam Ralston just kind of like sucking Izzy off and then doing his like I'm the new dog in the yard thing. Like I don't know if it's just like a New Zealand thing where like there's not many people there, so they're like a little more socially awkward. I don't know, like, but a lot of these CKB dudes, like even Carlos Ulberg on the mic, like I'm coming, like it's just weird. Like I don't know, like I don't think that team gets it when it comes to the mic part. But Cam Ralston, he looked great against Andre Petrosky. Andre did not look good. Like one little jab stepping in and he's just out. I think Petrosky's done. His chin seems to be gone. Jamie Malarkey and Rolando Bedoya had a fight. Like Malarkey looked pretty good through the first 2 rounds. And then Bedoya's like got this dude like hurt and on the ropes in the third. And he's just like throwing a leg kick and a jab. It's like, bro, come on. He's got his hand up after. And it looks like Jamie Malarkey's eyebrows have joined Team Shootobox with like the blonde dye. I don't know what happened to dude's eyebrows. Colby Thickness and Josias Musasa. Neither one of those dudes should just be in the UFC, especially at men's bantamweight. There are way too many. Like, bring in Juan Archuleta. Like, there's just that's just a random name. And he's an old dude. But there's way too many bantamweight MMA fighters out there for like fighters like these guys to be in the UFC. Colby Thickness is on the roster because he seems to have the UFC like owed Volk a favor or something. But the way he looks when he's striking on the feet, like anything that hits him, he's immediately flummoxed, immediately out of sorts. Decent grappler, but like in the exact inverse, Josias Musasa, like decent striker. He's okay. Like he's violent. He was destroying Thickness on the feet, but like just as terrible as a striker as Thickness is. And I called him on Twitter like the worst striker in this division, and that's including like Hauni Yaya. Like he's so bad. But like Musasa is probably the worst grappler in this division, if not the worst like male grappler in the UFC. Like he's absolutely terrible. So I don't know. I don't need to see them both fight anymore if there's better ones out there, guys. I hate to be that guy. Michelle Montague defeated Luana Carolina. Luana Carolina had that like point deduction for the blatant head kick to, kick Montague in the face while they were both on the ground. Montague is like a very great value, like a good value version of Kayla Harrison. We're like, she's a decent grappler, but like, I just don't see why someone like Irene Aldana wouldn't hit her in the face 3,000 times. Like she just has really poor striking defense. This whole card was just full of people with like real striking deficiencies that like, if they don't have a grappling game to lean on, it looks bad. And like Luana Carolina, like literally like rocked Montague, like in every round in 2 of the 3 rounds, but she's just, a 125er moved up that's got huge wrestling deficiencies, and it's just not dangerous enough. And Montague being at women's bantamweight, like she may never have to improve because this division's so bad, but there will be someone that's like tough enough to like stick with her on the ground, like Juliana Pena, that will spam a jab. And like, what's going to happen when you can't out wrestle your opponent anymore? And you're just like Norma Dumont would fuck her up. But she's 7-0. She won this fight. She didn't get a rear naked choke, but she's, got a win in the UFC. Brando Pericic and Alicia Ellison had a very interesting fight. I don't know what's worse, the way that Ellison was talking about like having like mental health issues, and then the way he got knocked out, they like had to bring out the oxygen, or Brando Pericic being like, hey, give me the $50K because I took out $100,000 loan to become a UFC fighter. Fighters, if you're listening to this podcast, don't take out $100,000 loan to be a UFC fighter, especially if you're fighting for 12 and 12. Find another job or just don't do it. And then Alexia Tainara defeated Loma Lookboonmee, and she actually looked really good. This is probably like the best, outside of like outside of Carlos Ulberg, really like probably one of the better performances. Like Loma Lookboonmee is a good opponent. She's ranked in the top 15. I think she's either 14 or 15 for the UFC's rankings. And Tainara, outside of Loma having like success for the first minute and a half of the first round, I even put into like the Sherdog, this may be hard to score. No, Tainara like, really used her grappling, had this really incredible, like very deep takedowns where she like jumped off the cage and took Loma down at one point. There was another moment where she like was pushing Loma up against the cage. Loma was taking the back foot. She fakes a low takedown, and then Loma like goes to kind of sprawl out a little bit, but at that point was pressed up against the cage, and then Tainara turned that into a spinning back kick. Like that was really cool. Just a really cool, athletic and diverse game from Tainara. And I may not love her 30-minute walks to the cage, but she's pretty good. Moving on to the middle segment of the show, what's hot? I woke up today to some pretty interesting news regarding TKO and Paramount. This morning, I woke up and I found out that Dana White has detailed plans for ZUFFA Boxing as a destination for Paramount, and there will be exclusive media rights. He also did an interview with Brian Campbell of Morning Combat stating that basically he's not – I'm not advocating for Dana here. I'm just trying to repeat what was said to the best of my abilities. Basically, he said he's not trying to do anything to impact the Ali Act, but if you want to fight for him, you'll just be fighting like under a different contract. So basically, like if you want to box for Dana White and TKO Boxing, you have some sort of different contractual obligations that do not keep you protected from the Ali Act is kind of what I've gathered from it. It's supposed to be like 12 events in a year next year as well, I believe, in 2026. They'll be on Paramount. I don't know if this is going to be part of the package that UFC, they'll have, their UFC is going to be on there, but I don't know if this is going to be like another edition, if there'll be like another additional paywall. Basically, I don't think there will be though, but who knows? ESPN Plus kind of seems like they lost out big here, and their app has just been terrible. Like they even changed the interface, and it's just like you guys are fixing problems. Like I could be somewhere and have like all completely full service on my phone, try to log into the ESPN app, and it won't load, or it'll tell me that like I'm not logged in, and I'll have to just like exit the app and re-enter the app, and then I'm automatically logged in. Like ESPN Plus has been terrible. So this could be really interesting for Paramount. What they're going to end up doing is probably just trying to create their own brand of boxers. Maybe he'll allow some UFC fighters to cross over like Ilia Topuria. I don't know. Maybe, probably not though. I really don't know what this means. I don't know if they're going to like try to build their own brand and have like a contender series for boxing now and try to create their own stars, dudes that they can pay like MMA wages to, because that like, yeah, TKO Boxing, they kind of held the Canelo Crawford thing on Netflix, but like, I don't think dudes like Bud Crawford are going to be fighting at these standard TKO boxing events unless Turki Al-Sheikh is willing to just whip out a big old fat wad of money. And we'll probably see one of those next year. What this means is we'll probably see one insane super fight that we might not be expecting to see. Maybe Usyk will fight some dude. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see like a Terrence Crawford fight like David Benavidez, which I don't think should happen. I don't think Crawford would actually take that fight. Not dissing Crawford. I just think that's like a dumb, stupid fight for him to take because it's just a huge risk. But I'm not doubting Terrence Crawford ever again. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they'll like pull Tyson Fury out of the woodworks. We'll see some sort of big event. Maybe, I don't know. Brian Garcia, a name like that. who knows, maybe like a rematch Rolly Romero or something. I really have no idea what this TKO boxing means besides like probably a little bit shady. There's articles up on Sherdog now. There's other places where you can hear Dana himself talk about it. So I suggest you guys go listen in and let me know what you think. But TKO Boxing is on Paramount. I guess we're under the Paramount overlords now. TKO overlords and Paramount overlords have joined forces and created the dark side, it seems like. Moving on to the final segment of the show, in with the new, we're going to talk about UFC 320. Now, this is a good ass card. There's a F ton of fights I care about going all the way, from the prelims through the, middle prelims up to the main card. There's good fights on the main card, even though we have like Joe Pyfer. I guess he's the UFC's guy. But he's fighting like Abus Magomedov. Like both dudes are like first round cannons. And then, especially Abus, they kind of fall apart after the first round's over. So that should be really good. But there's 3 really good fights. The premier fight of the card is probably going to be the best fucking fight on the card. And then the co-main is an incredible bout, even though it's just kind of like a, who's next in line type. I love seeing both these guys fight. And then the main event is a great rematch, something that, should definitely happen. Kicking it off, we're going to talk about Jiri Prochazka, and he's taking on Khalil Rountree. Let me give you guys the odds of this fight. Odds of this fight. We've got Jiri Prochazka at about a minus 180 favorite. Khalil Rountree coming back at about plus 150 as the dog here. And this should be just a really good fight. Like, I'm super curious to see what this looks like, because Jiri Prochazka, he's like one of the best knockout artists just ever in MMA. Like, and people will probably not talk about him that way, but he's got 31 wins and 27 knockouts. Like, he's got an 87% knockout percentage. Like, it's like, that's when he wins, it's usually by a knockout. His last time out, he hasn't fought since the beginning of this year in January. He went and did some schooling, got an education, got a degree. Shout out to him for that, using his brain before it gets ruined by the way he fights. He looked really good against Jamal Hill his last time out. And in the third round, he was like slip countering, like pull countering shots, like in the pocket, using good vision and good head movement. Shit that we hadn't really fucking seen from Jiri. He was talking about like going down to 185 after getting head kicked by Alex Pereira in his previous fight before that. His first loss to Pereira was kind of like not a terrible one, where like he got hit with this like short little hook entering the pocket, kind of went down, got on like a double leg, but kind of a very half-hearted one, and then just got elbowed a bunch of times, fell to his back, and got finished a ground and pound. It wasn't a sus knockout, but like it was kind of like a semi-weird. But his last time against Alex Pereira like might be Alex's like best performance in the UFC, where like, he like buried him with a check hook. It was almost like a kickboxing fight, but instead of a 10-second count, Jiri got a minute in the corner, but like Alex blasted him with this fucking check hook in an exchange, like right in the center of the octagon, and literally nearly finished him. Basically did knock him out at the end of the first round. And then in the second round, he throws this like beautiful switch head kick and just fucking knocks his head off. That was really, really good. The incredible fight of the year in 2022 with Glover Teixeira, the like straight up like violent ninja Beyblade spinning powerful chaos, and he like killed Dominick Reyes, the way he knocked out Volkan Ozdemir. Like this dude's been on a really incredible run in the UFC. The only fight I haven't talked about is the fight that I feel like this fight could be a lot like for Jiri, and that is his fight with Alexander Rakic. Alexander Rakic did really, really well against Jiri Prochazka for the first like 7 minutes of this fight, and then all of a sudden Alexander Rakic like got a little bit tired and started making mistakes and started trying to get one back and got caught and just got absolutely finished. And Khalil Rountree, he's a guy that he's really not supposed to be here. Like, back when he was like getting knocked out by Johnny Walker and then like beating Eric Anders via decision, and then he got knocked out by Ion Cutelaba and lost the decision to Marcin Prachnio in 2021. Like, anybody asked me, like, this guy's not supposed to be here. But then all of a sudden, like, he went to Thailand and just like leaned on his violent abilities and like leaned on his speed and athleticism and like his fight IQ and just dogged toughness, and it's just been like murking fools. Like, the way he finished Modestas Bukauskas with that like push kick to the leg, pure violence. The way he fucking, like, he did not beat Carl Roberson in a fight. Yes, he beat him in a fight, but like he like mugged that dude. He like whipped Carl Roberson's ass like he caught him in his bed with his wife. The fight with Dustin Jacoby was when Dustin Jacoby was really streaking. Dustin Jacoby himself is a high-level kickboxer. I thought Jacoby actually won that one, but it was a very close fight. And Khalil Rountree did get the nod there. The way he knocked out Chris Dalkhouse coming down from heavyweight. Dalkhouse had been on an okay run, but had suffered some knockouts prior to then. He finished Anthony Smith. And then that kind of got him in like a semi-undeserved fight back in October of 2024 with Alex Pereira. And up until that point, yeah, he got knocked out in the fourth round and got finished, got his nose fucked up. He's got like his face is like brand new scars, or he's like suffered injuries kind of for life from that fight. But he looked really good against Pereira for the first two rounds. Like, Pereira has having issues with his kicks, issues with the speed, issues with his hand speed, issues with his power, issue with his counter punching. And he like hurt Pereira several times in that fight before Pereira was able to kind of lock in and do Alex Pereira things. And then his last time out, he kind of held back against Jamal Hill because he really fucked Jamal Hill up. Like, won a very clean decision on my cards. I think I either scored it 50-45 or 49-44. Sorry, 49-46. Wow. But that's funny. He like hurt Hill several times, that he even like admitted in the post fight that he held back. In a fight like this, Jiri could just go absolutely crazy on Rountree and just like make this look like the Dominick Reyes fight and have a lot of success. He really, really could. Because Khalil Rountree's definitely showed more toughness than ever, especially like the way he fought Alex Pereira through that finishing sequence, like getting fucking crushed by shots from like one of the best punchers that's ever been in the UFC, period. And still like trying to fire back and meet him in the pocket after you just getting crushed was just a really brave fight. And I think he may be past his old mental issues, but one can never be so sure with Khalil Rountree. So maybe a crazy barrage of Beyblade attacks with big power. And, Jiri may be the harder puncher out of the two, which is a crazy thing to say. But in a 3-round fight, I'm going to pick Khalil Rountree as an underdog here, and this could totally backfire. But Rountree is really good with leg kicks. One thing that Jiri Prochazka is just not good with. He's been chewed up by leg kicks by guys like Alex Pereira and others. He doesn't check leg kicks. He himself is not very defensively responsible, not really at all, up until the third round of his fight with Jamal Hill. But Jamal Hill had a lot of moments and had a really close fight with him. And I think if Khalil Rountree can slow the pace of this fight and have like a tit for tat kickboxing match with Jiri Prochazka, like, I just think he's a much more of a nip tuck striker. Like, he's probably a better counterpuncher. He's probably got faster hands. And even if Jiri is the more powerful puncher, like, it ain't by much. And Khalil has a good kicking game. Give me Khalil to throw a bunch of leg kicks and throw body kicks and try to throw head kicks at Jiri. And then give me Khalil to just counterpunch and use footwork and not put himself in too much trouble. I don't think he's going to knock out Jiri, but he's probably going to hurt him at one point in this fight. And then there'll be 2 more other rounds that are close, but I think Jamal will win one close round and hurt Jiri in one round, and then probably lose him, and then probably lose a third, and maybe have to hang on. But in 3 rounds, like, Khalil's a motherfucker in 3 rounds, man. You know, and it took Jiri 2.5 rounds to start making those reads on Jamal Hill. So, and Khalil Rountree is a lot more responsible than Hill. Give me Rountree to win a 3-round decision. Moving on to the co-main event, we have Merab Dvalishvili, the Machine, taking on Cory, the Sandman Sandhagen. Odds on this fight are Merab is a pretty hefty favorite. There's some places where he's up at like 440, minus 440 is the favorite. But average, I'm looking at about between like 360 and up to minus 400. Cory Sandhagen is coming back at plus 300 here. And Merab is just on, like, he should probably just be undefeated in the UFC. Lost his first 2 fights and then is on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fight win streak. Like, if you're listening to this, you're not new here, but John Dodson, Cody Stamann, Marlon Reyes, Jose Aldo, Petr Yan, Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley twice, and Umar Nurmagomedov, and he's probably about to add Cory Sandhagen to this. Like, this dude's on a fucking run, okay? Like, we got to start talking about Merab. Merab puts another 2 fights on this win streak. He may be elbowing some people off of some other people's Mount Rushmore. Like, this dude is not just good. He's very fucking good. It's scary because Merab is 34 and, like, he looked better than ever against Sean O'Malley. Let me move over to Cory Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen, he's not the youngest guy. He's 33 years old. He's been in the UFC for quite a while. Last time out, he defeated Davison Figueiredo, where he's kind of beating him up pretty bad, and they got into that weird leg entanglement, and he finished him via TKO to injury. Before that, he had not fought, and that was back in May of this year. Before that, he hadn't fought since August of 2024, where he just got, like, handily defeated by Umar Nurmagomedov, where he just could not keep up with Umar with the boxing or with the grappling. He defeated Rob Font prior to that, where he, like, injured his shoulder in that fight and, you know, wrestled Rob Font, and he came in on short notice for that one. He did have a really good fight with Song Yadong, and he had a split decision against Chito Vera. But, like, in 2023, that was, like, one of the worst scorecards for a fight. Like, no one should have scored that fight for Chito. It was semi-close, but, like, not that close. Sandhagen's a dude that sort of just seems like he's up next in line, but, like, those aren't the, like, that's what Khalil Rountree was to Alex Pereira back when they fought, and look how fucking well he performed. You know, unfortunately for Sandhagen is that, like, he's kind of probably coming up against the best bantamweight ever. And I don't know if there's even much of an argument for that anymore. Sorry, Dominick Cruz. Merab Dvalishvili is a dude that actually has just, like, sneaky power with his striking. Like, when he's pushing forward, he's able to, like, wing big combos because you're, like, super respecting his wrestling. But, like, in this last fight with Sean O'Malley, like, his striking looked better than ever. He was, like, tagging up Sean O'Malley. He hurt him against the cage, caught O'Malley trying to circle out. He shot 50 takedowns against Petr Yan in one fight. He also battered him with leg kicks. Like, he's got pretty good leg kicks. He doesn't have incredible takedown entries, but, like, none of that matters because not only does he have the best cardio, like, ever in MMA, period, but he's also probably, like, this physically strongest dude in this division right now, and is probably, like, the top 5 most physically strong bantamweights that have ever fought as well. Like, he's got insane, like, not only can he pick up, like, a Toyota Corolla, but he could fucking pick it up and run 5 miles with it. Like, that's what's so incredible about this dude. Like, the way that he's able to defend takedowns, he's got these weird, tricky takedown defenses where, like, even if you pick him up, he'll like wrap his legs around your legs. He's got really good balance. His strength, like the way he was shooting singles on Umar Nurmagomedov and just like picking him up with a single, like how Yoel Romero would like lift fuckers in the air with one like low single. Like, that's how good this dude is. That's how strong this dude is. Cory Sandhagen, he is a decent striker, but in fights like the Umar Nurmagomedov fight or even the Chito Vera fight, he's been a little bit lower volume than even like he reads. Like, you look at the guy and you're like, oh, this dude throws 500 strikes a fight. You know, you look at him and you think he's like, you know, Brandon Royval or something. But like, no, he could probably really utilize that strategy, which is interesting because I know they're homies and I know they share a camp, I believe. I know they share a camp, I believe. That's it. I believe they share a camp. So you'd think he'd be just like a dude that would like spam the fuck out of like his boxing and like, you know, have it was a good jab, but I feel like he should be throwing a lot more in fights. Incredible jump knees, like the way he iced Frankie Edgar. He's got a good kicking game himself. He's got good boxing. And since he's teamed up with Ryan Hall and those guys too, he's a very good grappler. And he's just gotten better through, you know, being a student of the game. But he's got a really good, like, tricky guard game, and he really likes to roll for legs and stuff like that. I think the only routes of victory for him in this fight are to, like, crush Merab with a jump knee that's not going to knock him out, but, like, split one of his eyebrows open to the point where, like, the doctor has to stop it. Or he gets some sort of like leg entanglement finish where he like injures Merab and he's no longer able to continue like the Davis and Figueiredo fight, or he just like submits him with a knee bar or a heel hook. But he's just like not dangerous enough to thwart Merab Dvalishvili's consistent forward pressure. I don't think anyone in this division is, because he's fought all that. Like, people hate on the Jose Aldo performance, but like, dude took Jose Aldo, held him up against a cage and just said, do something about it. And he could not. Look at the Petrion fight, who is like probably like the most dangerous dude in this division. Look at the Sean O'Malley fight, who's like probably the other most dangerous dude in this division. Oh, look at the Umar Nurmagomedov fight, who's also probably the other most dangerous dude in the division. Like, the only person he hasn't really fought is like Song Yadong yet. And that's probably who's going to be next, maybe. But I think this is going to be a tough fight for Sandhagen. I think Merab's strength, he is just going to, like, Sandhagen has good footwork and he's going to circle out. He's going to try to circle out. He's going to try to intercept him with like knees or uppercuts or big one-shot stuff. And then I know it's going to be like immediate leg entanglements, like right away when it gets to the ground. So that could be dangerous. But like, Merab's fast himself. He's not slow. He has pretty good footwork. The way he was cutting off the cage and like throwing big looping shots and hurting O'Malley when O'Malley was trying to use his outside footwork. I love Sandhagen, but O'Malley's even faster and has better footwork. Like maybe Sandhagen watched the O'Malley fight and he's really going to be trying to go to the body a fuck ton. Maybe he's going to be throwing teeps and like jabs and crosses to the body. But that was something that happened 2 fights ago. And I don't know. I just don't think that's that. It's like the freaking movie, The Hobbit, with the dragon Smaug that's missing the one little scale. And you got to hit the arrow in the perfect shot, you know, like the Death Star, same fucking concept. But like, I don't think Sandhagen even has the arrow to exploit that hole in Merab's armor, I guess you could say. Give me Merab Dvalishvili to win via 4th round stoppage. And I actually think he's going to do it like via ground and pound. So give me Merab to win via ground and pound in the 4th round. He's just like churning it up and getting fucking better. Moving on, we got the main event. We've got Alex Pereira taking on Magomed Ankalaev in the rematch. Last time out, Magomed Ankalaev did defeat him via 5-round decision. Let me give you the odds on this fight. Odds on the fight. Magomed Ankalaev is a pretty hefty favorite. I'm not going to name this book, but he's at minus 670 on one book. Alex Pereira is at plus 640 on one book somewhere. If you are an Alex Pereira bettor, like go to a website where you can find the betting odds and look for this one in particular, because he's at a plus 450 here. That's got to be wrong. Like, hopefully it'll be that way by the time you guys are listening to this tomorrow. If you're an Alex Pereira bettor, go fucking hammer it. I've screenshot the place. So if you want to reach out to me right here, I'll send it to you in a DM, Instagram, Twitter. But yeah, everywhere else, Magomed Ankalaev is at like minus 240. Alex Pereira is at plus 200, plus 210. And this is I'm surprised by the odds because the first fight was so close in a way. And like Magomed Ankalaev did not look like some fucking killer in there. Like Pereira just looked kind of bad. And based off Pereira's age, maybe he is bad now. Maybe he's climbed the top of the mountain. Last time out during their fight, he was like in Australia, like 4 weeks out doing like seminars and stuff. He seemed to reel all that shit back in. Like, I don't think he's doing this world tour seminar thing. I'm the MMA god anymore. I think Pereira's really reeled it in because he's going to freaking have to defeat Magomed Ankalaev. Magomed Ankalaev is a good southpaw. He's got good, clean boxing. He's got like almost like karate style entries with his ability to get in and out. He's got decent power with his boxing. He's effed up Johnny Walker. He's got a good kicking game, kicked Ian Kutalaba like 35 times. He's an okay topside grappler, but like isn't a good wrestler. And even in his fight with Alex Pereira, like he couldn't do anything besides get underhooks and like attempt takedowns, but like Alex defended everything. Alex was actually the one that got the takedown where he hit this like really dope reversal tie foot sweep and like dump Ankalaev like on his shoulder and almost on his head kind of at the end of a round. That was pretty dope. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of these guys' records. Like if you're listening to this, these guys' accomplishments. In this fight here, I'm a bit torn because in the first couple rounds of this fight, like Ankalaev did have a lot of success with his boxing and like buzzed up and clipped up Pereira and like hurt him in a round in their past fight. And it was just really weird. Like Pereira had all the fucking wrestling defense like locked in, easy peasy, but just like didn't let his fucking hands go. I just thought the game plan and the way he fought was so abysmal because we've seen dudes like Jan Blachowicz fucking crush Ankalaev with leg kicks and turn him into a wrestler. And as much as I love Jan Blachowicz, like Alex Pereira seems to be like a better takedown defender than Jan Blachowicz. And training with Glover Teixeira, like he's got to. Otherwise, he's getting his ass whipped all the time. Even as old as Glover is still this day. I low-key think Glover probably still, when they go at it, maybe he gets touched up on the feet, but I guarantee he could drag Alex Pereira to the ground at any moment and have his way with him. But like, you've got a dude like Glover in your corner who like was a good takedown wrestler at 205 Glover, one of the best topside grapplers at 205 ever. And that's his head coach and like brother / best friend / yeah. I think Alex Pereira can if he just like turns up his boxing the way he came out like in the 4th round against Khalil Rountree and just like get fucking venomous and get violent, like do what he did to Izzy in the rematch, besides getting knocked the fuck out, which is something that could happen, but like You run that Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira rematch back 20 times, and like that outcome probably only happens 1 or 2 times, where like Izzy's just getting fucking rained on and just literally eyes closed from behind the guard, throws a big shot and clips him with a big counter. Yeah, it's crafty counter punching. But like, I think if Alex Pereira goes into marauder mode and just tries to lump this dude up, like go out there and just try to fucking hurt Magomed Ankalaev, go out there, take his fucking legs out, slow him down. You crush his legs, his footwork's gone. And then once his footwork's gone, start throwing that cross to the body, start throwing that lead jab to the body. One of my favorite things Pereira does is he'll throw the jab to the body, throw the jab to the body, and then feint the jab to the body, and then come up and throw a big hook and throw that big left hook he has. He just go out there and be violent, chop his legs up, work the body, throw your head kicks, throw your big check hook to the head. Like, I think he can do this to Magomed Ankalaev. I think he's going to. I think he's going to get his belt back. Give me a 4th round knockout for Alex Pereira. I think this looks very similar to Ankalaev's fight with Jan Blachowicz, except no wrestling happens. And I think Alex is going to be able to take advantage of him on the feet with his hands once he chops the legs down. I think now that Alex knows he can defend the grappling, he will come in even more confident. Alex Pereira for the win. And that is the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize for being off for 2 weeks, but, you know, shit happens. But thank you all. I really, really appreciate all the listeners. Reach out to me. Talk crap to me about my picks or anything you want. These are my handles on social media, Sherdog.com. Enjoy the show.